Hello once again, and welcome to another interview sessions for the TownCrier. This is season 2. This is the third or fourth one of these that I've recorded. I'm not saying they're going to come out in that order, but we're underway. My name is Daniel. I play Oubar. I've been doing the interview sessions off and on for a little while with a hiatus there in the middle. But I'm very happy to be getting back into this. And today we have a new guest, and I will throw it to you to introduce yourself however you please.
I am Sam. I play a few characters. One of them that we're going to talk about today is Hadya.
Excellent. Thank you for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
excited to do it.
awesome, awesome. So we're going to start off with the out of character stuff. By that, what I mean is I'm talking to you, the player, not
Mhm,
really looking for what Hadya thinks or Hadya's experiences,
mhm.
more yours as a Gemstone player.
Okay.
So we're going to start off with a softball. When and why did you start playing Gemstone?
Oh, my best friend. My best friend dragged me into this game. Um,
Okay,
like I was about 17, 18, so like 98, 99. God.
okay.
And she was like, "Oh, I'm playing this cool game. It's called Gemstone 3." And I'm like, "Where are the graphics?" And she's like, "You'll love it. Trust me." And so like we made a character on her account, and
Okay,
like I remember rolling through stats because at that time you had to roll to get your stats. You couldn't set
oh
your stats.
yes.
We spent like a straight hour to where she's like, "Okay, well, I'm done. This is enough." And so like I made like a little like a ranger or something, and I played it for like 2 or 3 hours, and I'm like, "Okay, cool."
Did that, next.
And then about like a year later, maybe I like she brought it up again. She's like, "Hey, play this game with me." And I was like, "Okay, I'll bite. I'll play." And I got an
Sure.
account, and I made my first character, which was a dark elf rogue, and I was really bad at playing. I was very bad at playing. Um I will say one of my first like terrible memories in the game was, I don't know if you remember Nindy
Oh, I do. I do.
on Terrace. I was on Terrace and I was like level 30, and I decided I'm gonna pickpocket him.
Sure. What's the worst that
That
can happen?
mistake. So yeah,
We've all been there. We've all been there.
yeah, that was my first, like that was my first real foray into kind of playing. I didn't really role play or anything. I was like starting to know the game.
Okay.
So, I've been playing off and on for a while now. So,
A while now. Kind of like all of us at this point, honestly.
right.
Did you take any breaks along the way, or have you been playing pretty steadily since then?
Yeah, I've taken like 2 to 3 years. Like I've taken about 3 or 4 breaks. Some of them a year to 2 years. I have a son. He's autistic,
Yeah.
and that comes with challenges, and sometimes you gotta put real life in
Absolutely.
front of you.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. So I'm curious, what about it? So you've had multiple hiatuses. What about it keeps bringing you back? What would you say the draw is for you that keeps you coming back up to your hiatuses?
Um, the community, definitely.
Yep, yep.
The role play community is phenomenal. Like I've tried other role play games,
Hmm.
and nothing has ever compared to Gemstone ever,
Yeah, yeah.
for role play. Um, the way you get to tell your character's story is so customizable and versatile,
Hmm.
and that's really great. Um, for me, getting to do that, to customize your character, tell their story through their outfits and their
Yeah,
personal
yeah.
effects, their tattoos, their everything. It's great.
Awesome, awesome. I completely agree. I completely agree. So, what would you say? Why do you think Gemstone has lasted as long as it has? Do you think it's like the customization, like you're just talking about, or is there another factor to it that's contributed to its longevity?
I really feel like it's it's the community. Um,
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, the customizations are great, but you can go to other like MUDs and do pretty much the same thing. But I think it's the community that keeps people
Sure.
And that's why the game has lasted so long. And I think it's the community and and the nostalgia for sure.
Sure. Well, that's absolutely part of it, I'm sure.
Mhm,
Okay, put you on the spot here a little bit.
mhm.
So you are now in charge of Gemstone for 1 week, starting right now. I need you to give me one thing that you would add to the game, and only one, and give me your reasoning, and then one thing that you would take out of the game, and again with your reasoning, please. You can take those in whatever order you wish.
The first thing I one thing I would add to the game, I think, would be the ability to learn languages.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That is a
Okay.
huge one. I know people have those ear cuffs and they like love them to death. And I get that, but it's like, yeah, you could have that ear cuff, but then you could speak a third language on top of it. Like you'd have
Sure.
this one for free and you wouldn't have to put effort into learning, three languages, just like, an additional language. Um, that would
Okay.
be my selling point. Like, hey, yeah, you got that ear cuff, but you can also learn an
Sure.
additional
There's
language.
still more stuff out there. Absolutely.
that
Okay.
would be
Okay.
that would be my selling point. I would really like to see that happen, like where you could learn languages, because a few of my characters, it would make sense for them to know other languages based on their backstories, like,
Sure.
and and you're like, oh, in the back. So
Yeah.
um so that's the one thing I think I would add to Gemstone.
Okay.
I would take away loot cap.
Cap. Okay. All right. Just out of curiosity, why? Give me your reasoning
um
there.
I think it's I think while they're trying to police the bigger earners, um, it takes away from the casual players. No, but that's the only one I can think of that I would take away.
Okay.
There's so much in Gemstone, maybe also alchemy, but that's an aside. Um, I'm not gonna talk about alchemy because we'll be here all day.
Okay.
Um,
All right. That sounds fair. All right. So you kind of mentioned just a little bit your foray into pickpocketing, which didn't maybe go the way you never necessarily would have planned. But
mhm,
so, what would you say your favorite memory is as a player? And again, remember, this is the player, not necessarily a meaningful moment in game for one of your characters, but for you as the player sitting there at the keyboard, what's your favorite memory of playing Gemstone?
so um when Hadya got to help bring back Morval,
Okay.
big supervillain moment for her. Um, she was like, she had flipped. She had gone to the good guy side and become a Roninite, and Shay
Okay.
had marked her and everything, and she was playing the other side, and
Mhm.
then after a couple of years, she got to flip back and
Okay.
bring Marvel back, and she got her mark that marked her as a priestess of the Order of Lucos. So she was really excited about. I was really excited about it because it
Sure.
was one of the things she had worked towards for years.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Makes
Mhm,
perfect sense to me. And so you touched on your pickpocketing foray, but
mhm,
just to go to the other extreme. So that was your favorite, you'd say is at least one of your favorite memories. What would
mhm.
be your least favorite or one of your least favorite memories? And again, this is as you, the player.
Oh, I would say when I started Hadia,
Mhm.
I she was my first foray into role playing,
Okay.
and it was during the last half of the Griffin Sword saga.
Gotcha. Okay.
And because some people couldn't kill other higher level members of the Dark Alliance, they picked on Hadia big time. One of
Oh,
them was that someone killed her and kept her. And at the time, I didn't know how to unlink from Keep,
oh, yep, yep,
and
yep.
they did not do nice things to her.
Oh,
I think that was my worst memory, and it made me cry.
oh. Well,
So,
certainly
tell
understandable.
who do mean things, like get some consent first if you're gonna do that. Coming from big
Yeah.
baddie villain.
Yeah, yeah.
some
absolutely.
consent first would be nice. But I think that was my worst memory. I was like, oh my God, I don't think I'm ever gonna play again. Like I stepped out for like a couple weeks after that. I was just like, nope.
Yeah. Well,
So
I'm glad you decided to stick it around. That's
yeah.
okay. I'm gonna flip the script here a little bit. We're gonna go to in character stuff. Here, I'm looking for kind of insight into Hadya, and so I'm not looking for you to role play as Hadya. Don't worry, but
Okay.
it just answer in her voice as best you can. I'm looking kind of for some insight into the character here.
Okay.
Okay, so real basic at the beginning. Where did Hadya come from? What's Hadya's origin story?
Hadya is Tahir.
Okay.
She is from the Sea of Fire. Her tribe is the tribe of Sankara. Um, their their origin story is that they came from the cursed city Burmahala. They basically did a great exodus. Um, Sankara was her backstory is Sankara was a prophet. The spirits of the desert were like, "Hey, Burmahala is up to no good. You need to tell them to stop." He told them to stop. They were like, "No, we're not going to stop." And so he took his followers out of Burmahala and settled in the northwestern quadrant of the Sea of Fire. So
Okay.
that is where Hadi is from. She's from the northwestern quadrant of the Sea of Fire. Um, that's why she's a bit paler than other Tahir.
Okay.
Also, she is the product of a highborn Tahir and a former half Sylvan slave.
Oh,
So
okay.
she was kind of an outcast in her tribe,
Sure.
um, but not so much of an outcast that they didn't use her for political alliances between
Gotcha.
tribes. So that is kind of Hadia's origin story, like her background. They were like, oh, you have really good spirit ability. You can talk to the spirits. We're gonna put you with the shaman. She trained as a shaman for the tribe. Um,
Okay.
and then she was married off. And during that altercation, I won't tell people because I like to tell that story in game. Like, it's a rare thing. She'll talk about it, but that was the catalyst to her following Glucose.
Gotcha. Okay. Which kudos to you. That dovetails great into the next question. So talk to me about Hadya's Lucos affiliation. How important it is to her? How does that? So I understand if you want to keep some details secret, but
Mhm.
what does she feel her role is in his followers? I guess is the way to look at it.
She views herself as she's on the Emerald Path, which is
Okay.
the path of death, which is the interconnecting path that interconnects the other paths of Lugos, which is undeath and lies. Yay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she, since being marked and she is formally recognized, she sees herself as a shield to other followers who might be doing things, in the shadows. Like
Okay.
she is the PR person for Lucos and the Lucosian order. If you want to know what Lucos is about, she's happy to tell you. She has also, shielded others, taken heat off them, put the sight on her. She feels like that's her job. She
Okay.
is she is supposed to make sure that the people who don't want to be seen remain unseen, and the ones who need guidance, she's there to guide. So that is her path.
Okay. Okay. Makes sense to me. Is so you mentioned earlier that there was a what sounded like an arranged marriage. Is Hadya currently married or otherwise romantically involved in some way?
No.
Okay. All right.
She is very much. She even has a ring that says "None for myself, all for the Great Serpent." She has
Okay.
in the past had some unfortunate liaisons. They have not gone well for her, so she's just like, you know what? And actually, one time she got mad because the guy she was seeing was like, "Hey, I can't do this anymore," and she got mad and she went to the temple and she like threw down her devotional and she's like, "I don't understand. Like, can't I have one thing for myself?" And GM, I guess, was listening and melted her face into the floor as Luke goes. So Hadya was like, "I got it. I get the message."
Loud and
Made her
clear, loud and clear.
fall. It happened. So she's very much on her path.
Yeah.
Lucas is her abusive boyfriend at this point. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair. What's Hadya's favorite place to be and why? And this can be either a city, a room, a building. How would she answer that question? What's her favorite place to be?
Her favorite place to be is there is a shrine in the landing. I won't say where. But there's a shrine in the landing that had been destroyed during the whole Chasten Griffin thing.
Yeah.
And it was remade. And it very much, I'm not going to say where it is or what, but it very much speaks to Hadya and her path. So yeah, and she loves that room. She really loves it.
Okay.
It's her favorite. It's her favorite place to be. Whenever she feels she needs to go somewhere, that's where she goes.
Makes sense to me. What is Hadya's most treasured possession, and what is its story? Why is it so important?
That's a hard one. She's got a lot of pretty personal things.
I'll be honest, that's kind of when I pose that question, that's usually what I get is, you want me to pick one? What do you mean?
I want to say
I've spent 20 years accumulating crap. Come on now.
That's true. No, so a player who has passed on was one of Hadya's closest, like the player's character was someone Hadya really looked up to, and she she gave her a jar of hearts.
Oh.
And it's so cool. You know, it has like hearts in it. You like turn it, the hearts in it. It's grizzly. It's very Hadya. And it's very sentimental to her because her mentor essentially gave it to her.
Okay.
So I think that's one of her one of her most treasured possessions, and has she added to the hearts? Yes.
I mean, it's a jar. You got to fill it up. I mean,
Right.
that's how this works, right? But you might need to answer on Hadya's behalf. I don't know if Hadya would be entirely forthcoming about this, but what would you say Hadya is most scared of and why?
Hadya is most scared of letting people in. She doesn't trust many people, and if she trusts you, that's a huge thing. I would say she maybe trusts 2 people.
Okay. All right.
Like,
All right.
full on would trust them with a blade to her throat, like, and trust that they wouldn't slit it. So
Okay.
two people. One of them is an NPC. The other is an actual person.
Okay. All right. All right.
Yeah. So she only trusts 2 people. Like,
Gotcha.
honestly, realistically. I mean, does she have other? She considers most of her friends alliances, and she doesn't always trust people. She's very hard. It's very hard for her to trust people. Considering who she follows, that's not,
Right.
not
That's
a big
just
shot,
smart.
right? Right.
That's just good business, I think. Yeah. Okay. All right. So what is Hadya searching for? So you've talked about how she's on the path at this point. She views herself as the shield. What does her end game look like? What is she striving for, or what is she moving towards? What point would Hadya go, I've done what I set out to do? What does her end game look
Her end game is honestly, she wants to be Lucas's avatar. She wants to be his avatar. Like she
Okay.
wants to be the end all be all. She wants to be mortal, essentially. Like
Okay.
at one point, that's where she wants her path to end. Like she wants to be the ultimate servant.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Okay, so that brings us to kind of the end of what I had written for the interview.
Okay.
I'm going to transition now into the questions that I'm ending all of these with. On Jay's recommendation, these are scraped straight from inside the actor studio and they were scraped from somewhere when they first arrived there. So
Okay.
be that as may. So so we kind of flip-flopped between in character and out of character here. These are separate from all of that. This is me talking to you, the person,
Okay.
and I'm interested in your answers. I'd be very surprised if they related to Gemstone at all.
Okay.
All right. First off, what's your favorite word?
My favorite word. That's hard. There's a lot of really awesome words. I'm gonna say, I don't know, midnight.
Okay. What's your least favorite word?
Moist.
What turns you on?
Turns me on. I'm really big into history. I love
Okay.
history. The
Okay.
War of the Roses, especially. I can't get enough of the War of the Roses. I love anything on the War of the Roses.
Okay.
My jam.
What turns you off?
Um, Toxic positivity.
Good one. Good one. What sound or noise do you love?
Um, that's a really hard one. I love a lot of sounds. I would say my son's voice is probably
Gotcha.
my favorite
What sound or noise do you hate?
sound. Yelling, raised
Okay.
voices.
Okay. What's your favorite curse word?
Cunt.
Nice. Okay. Okay. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Um, Other than my own, psychologist.
Okay.
Yeah,
What profession would you not like to do?
that's I don't I'm gonna say probably a personal assistant. I don't think I could do that. I
Okay.
don't think I could
Okay.
do that.
All right. And then last but certainly not least, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Well, I don't personally believe in God. If he does show up, first of all, I'm like, oh my God, literally. Um,
Literally, right?
um, I would like him to say, you know, you God, that's really hard. Uh, um, Welcome to heaven. All the people you don't like are on the other cloud. Like, I don't know.
Very nice. Very nice. I like that one. I like that one. Okay. I think that brings us to a close here.
Okay,
Thank you very, very much for doing this. I really appreciate it.
of
You
course.
did an awesome job. I am going to get this all compiled and I will let you know when it's going to go posted. Thank
All
you
right,
very
great.
much.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Bye bye.
Thanks. Bye.